Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a pretty fun video. I actually did this video about 4 years ago, but one of my friends suggested that I kind of do an updated version of this video, and this is my top 10 most expensive records. And the way I'm going to do it today is that I have top 10 LPs and top 10 45s. I'll just kind of go through those together. And yeah, most of all of these, well, all of them are going to be Beatles or solo Beatles related. So I don't really have any other other bands that are kind of up in this realm of price. But last time I strictly went off of Discogs prices, but I think this time I'm going to still kind of use Discogs as kind of a base. I also kind of base it off this book, even though it's a little bit older. Some of the prices still hold up. And then I've also been kind of following some stuff on eBay that's actually sold. Also sold by Perry Cox. He has an eBay store, and some of his stuff is more on the high end, condition wise and quality wise. And so I can kind of base that condition of either what I have or all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna go right into it. I got about, I guess, 20 records or so. Um, Again, I kind of based mine off of kind of condition and rarity. So like if it's a harder to find record that should be more expensive, but the condition is not there, I'm not going to put it up there in the top 10. But if I have one that's maybe a little less rare, but it's in like really nice shape, it might be bump up in price. So we're gonna start off with number 10 for the both um, LP and 45s here. Sorry, I'm just trying to get organized here. All right. So first off, we are starting with Meet the Beatles now. This is a very first pressing of Meet the Beatles with the does not have any of the credits on the label, so it doesn't have the the credits on the label. And this record is also in very nice shape. So this is kind of where I bump it up in price just because it's in very nice shape. It's also in stereo, so I kind of bump it up closer to $250 range. I'm going to put up some kind of the average, medium, the lowest, medium, and the highest Discog price probably in here. And then again, I'm kind of basing off of the price guidebook as well. But just for the condition of that record, I kind of place it up a little bit higher compared to maybe some other ones. But being a very first pressing in stereo bumps it up for me at least. All right, and then the number 10, 45. A recent buy for me, we have Ain't She Sweet picture sleeve. Got around probably $125 or so. Um, this time going through all my records, it was definitely a lot harder than the one 4 years ago, just because the majority of the top five kind of stayed the same, but there's a lot of I got a lot of new records that are kind of like floating in the same range, kind of towards the bottom five. So I just kind of had to pick some records here. So I probably could have shown multiple ones, kind of in this price range, I would say. So I just decided just to pick one and move on here. Now we got number 9 for LPs, and this is the first appearance of a solo album being in the top 10 since the previous video. And it's Paul McCartney's Driving Rain. I didn't really make too many of these. I think around about 2,000 copies or so. So this came out in the Europe, came out in Europe in around 2001. So happy to pick that one up, and I got it right around $250 again, maybe just a slight um, bump up from the previous one. And then for the number 9 spot for the 45, we have A Hard Day's Night from Austria. I really like to collect picture sleeves from other countries. And again, there's a lot of them. There was a lot of them that were kind of in the same price range, so I just kind of picked one to kind of represent some more expensive foreign picture sleeves, and this one happened to be probably in the best shape to actually kind of be worth um, the $125 range. All right, number 8 for the LPs is actually my most expensive bootleg, which is kind of interesting. But I picked up this at a record show a few years ago, and it's the Beatles as Nature Intended. So there's the little envelope for it, and I like this one the way it looked, so I got it. I have it framed. So there's the original "Let It Be, Get Back" artwork, and there's the acetate-like Apple label, and yeah. So yeah, I thought that was a really cool bootlegs. I don't collect too many bootlegs, but that one was on the top of the list for me. And then once "Let It Be" 50th anniversary reissue box set kind of officially released that album cover and artwork. Um, I thought that was pretty cool. So um, I actually didn't grab my number 8 45, but it's the new Ringo Starr 45 February Sky single from Amoeba. So I'll probably just pop up a picture of that right there, and it's also on red vinyl. And I also kind of got that right around the $125 range. Some sold for way more early on, but now it's kind of slowly edging its way back down, or there's not many to be sold right now. So I know there's a lot that sold for closer up at the 200, 250 on eBay, but on Discogs it was kind of the highest was like 160 to 150 range. So I just kind of put in that kind of frame. And then, all right, on to number 7 for the LPs, but it's actually not going to be an LP, and this is actually also one of the newer records that's kind of seemed to go up in price. But it's the Now and Then 10-inch version, and I kept this one sealed because I have the 12-inch versions, the 45 versions. But yeah, this one is the Spotify 10-inch exclusive, and this one actually, according to Discogs, goes for quite a bit. It's around the 260 to $300 range, and since I got this sealed, probably pushed the upper end of that price range. So that's kind of crazy to have a new record or a record that came out so fast, but it being a Spotify exclusive, I guess not a lot of were pressed. So that was interesting and a good buy, I guess. Um, Okay, number 7 for the 45s. We have a promotional issue of Strawberry Fields Forever with Penny Lane. And I always liked uh, trying to find one of these because it has the trumpet flourish at the end of Penny Lane. So that's always fun to hear. And yes, this is an original pressing. It's got the Los Angeles Star in the Matrix number. So you got to watch out for fakes for that one. But this is an original one. And one recently just sold on eBay. I think the day before I recorded this video for around $178, and that's what I was kind of um, figuring out. It's probably around 150 to 175 or so, and I have a picture sleeve to go with it if I ever wanted to sell it, I guess. So on to number 6, and this one's probably the best condition UK album I have, and that's why I have it up so high. That this is um, pretty much one of the cleanest white albums I have, and this is the first pressing from the UK. I'm not going to take it out, but it has all the inner sleeves, the posters, and the portraits. But the records are really nice, and the cover is pretty much flawless. So it's a top loader as well. And I know when original UK albums are in really really good shape, the prices go way way up. So that's what I'm kind of basing off that. I kind of have it around the 300 to 330 dollar mark. But yeah, those are always. I mean, you don't really see very high conditioned Beatles albums, especially from the UK, at least where I'm from. And the Discog prices, that's kind of like the upper end of Discog. So I decided because of the good shape, it's kind of it deserves that higher price. All right, so now we're going to number 6 of the 45s, and this is the one. This is a one that I haven't even shown yet. This is a recent purchase that actually just kind of happened to make the top 10, so you get, I guess, a sneak peek of my next Beatles update. It's actually another solo record. We got Paul McCartney, "Christmas Kisses." This came out in 2012, I think. Yep, 2012. Kind of during his can't even think of the album right now. I'll think about it in a little bit. Anyway, so there is the record. It's on green vinyl, and they had a green vinyl and a red vinyl one. I found this one on eBay for a pretty decent price, and I decided to jump on it. Sometimes when you find Christmas records during not Christmas season, they tend to be a little helpful for the price of these. So they didn't really make too many of these. I'm not too sure on the quantity right now. Again, I just got this, so I haven't really done a whole lot of research behind it. But price on this one can go anywhere to about like $160. That's kind of the upper end of it. But so there you go. Christmas Kisses by Paul coming in at number 6. And for number 5 here, this is a Beatles related album, I guess I would say, and this is an Ed Rudy album, and the Beatles aren't even, I believe, on here because it's a recreated concert by the Liverpool Lads. There might be some um, interview stuff here that the Beatles are on it, but anyway, this is the Great American Tour, 1965 Beatlemania concert. And I actually bought this from Perry Cox's eBay store. Um, According to his book, it's around a $350 album, and that's right where it was for Discogs as well. Um, I actually picked this up. I guess it kind of snuck under the radar. I think closer to $50, but of course that might be the it might bring the price down because that's the going price. But anyway, according to Discogs and his book, that's kind of right around where that album is. So kind of interesting. I guess tougher to find Ed Rudy albums. So now I just got to find the other two as well. All right, number 5 for the 45s. We have another promotional record here, and it's MGM My Bonnie promotional record. I actually got this the same day as the Get Back bootleg. He had a one-time kind of vendor guy at a record show. He had a bunch of Beatles stuff, so that was a good day. And I have this around the $150 to $200 range. I believe the condition of this is okay. I think it's about VG or so. So it might be on a little bit of the lower end there, but yeah, always nice to find some Beatles promotional 45s. All right, we're getting close, getting close. So we got top 4 now, and we got Beatles versus the Four Seasons. Number 4 against the Four Seasons. So unfortunately, this does not have a poster. It's not in stereo, so this is kind of just the most basic copy you could probably get. But very nice album to have, and sometimes the cover's all kind of written up or kind of tore up, but this one's actually in pretty decent shape, and I got it right around the $450 to $500 range. I believe I got this one on eBay a while back ago, so that was kind of a grail I was saving up for sure. So number 4 on the 45 list, more picture sleeves from around the world, I kind of like to say, and this one is from Turkey, and I got this right around probably about $200. Just tough to find, some hard to find picture sleeves from kind of unique countries that you won't necessarily think Beatles records were pressed, but Beatles Beatles records were pressed about everywhere. So just kind of hard to find. So I really like the cover here, and it's kind of a makeshift Capitol record swirl, but it's on Odeon and it's got a center hole. So that is pretty fun here. All right, now we're getting to the upper end here. So, all right, number three, kind of my first Holy Grail I ever kind of saved up for, and it is a Third State Butcher album. It's not the best um, peel, I would say, but this is my copy I had for probably close to 7 or 8 years now. So I kind of always like to have it on display. I got this one framed, and again, prices on these can really range. If it's like a very good peel, like in stereo, can go for upper close to $1,000 and more. But this one is just a plain mono with the peel not being the best. So I got it right around probably the 550 range. Probably could go a little bit higher, but I'm just kind of being a little conservative on the prices here. But yeah, it's just if the peel was a little bit better, probably could go for a little bit more. But there's kind of a wide range of prices on Discogs of stuff that's sold because of condition. So I just kind of stuck it right there, and I'm okay with that. And then we have for the 45s, got another one from a different country. We got this one from Greece. Same, let's see, yeah, same picture, back to back. But this one's from Greece, and one sold on Discogs for again right around that $200 range. So I just kind of left it there. But yeah, pretty cool purple Parlophone label. And then, all right, number two for the LPs, we got one from the Netherlands, and this is the Beatles' hottest hits. And this was not permitted to be released because of it. It's a compilation album, and EMI UK didn't let other countries release their own um, compilation albums yet at that time. So there was only a certain many pressed, and then they got recalled, and then some of them or most of them got destroyed. So this one happened to be also in very good condition as well. It's another one I kind of picked up off of eBay. So I kind of got lucky through eBay throughout the years here. So I kind of have that anywhere from the $500 to $700 range, according to Discogs. That's kind of the upper end. But since it's in a nice condition, I place it up there in price. So number two for the 45s, we got the Beatles Y, and be careful on these ones because there are counterfeits out there. The way you can easily tell if it's real or not is that if you can actually fit a 45 in the sleeve. The counterfeits are just a little bit small to where a 45 can't fit in the record sleeve. So this one's kind of weird to me. I've seen these go for cheap. I've seen these go for expensive. Um, but I think so. According to the book, a near mint condition one goes for around $400, and prices I kind of seen probably around 330 to 350 range. Since mine is in pretty decent shape, not too much ring wear or anything like that. I kind of place it right. It's a little bit lower than mint, I guess, or near mint, you can say. And all right, off to the number one spot here, and it's an album that was not on the list last year, and I actually just found this probably last summer, winter time frame. Anyway, I got it recently, and if you haven't seen any of my videos, you might think, what is a beat up copy of the White Album at your top of the list? Well, this is the Lost Harrison mix, the original mix of the White Album that was going to be released in the United States. George Harrison happened to be in Los Angeles and heard it and just did not like it at all. He said it kind of took away kind of like the actual feel of the White Album. So he ordered them to kind of just destroy those mixes, and then he like remixed it for him in the Los Angeles studio, pretty much. So those were supposed to be destroyed, but a handful did get pressed, and the way you can tell is that the last matrix number ends in B29, or I think it's anything below 30. I gotta remember that. But anyway, I believe it's below 30. So this one ended in B29, indicating it's a George Harrison mix. And I happened to find this in a record store. They had a whole crate of White Albums, and I went through every one of them, and I checked them all. And it does sound not so good for being an expensive album, I guess you can say. It's just that it's all kind of just the same volume. You got like you got no highs for Helter Skelter and the lows for like Long, Long, Long. It's just kind of all the same volume. So it's definitely an interesting listen, but you can definitely compare uh, I guess the more commercial release. And one of these sold. It was obviously in better condition than mine um, on eBay for a little over $2,000. So I'm just going to cut that in half and just call it an even $1,000 for my most expensive Beatles LP. So, and believe it or not, that's probably the best buy I've ever bought because I only bought it for $30. So that was a crazy find. And then the number one 45 on the list. This one is the same as last videos. So if you remembered, it is the Can't Buy Me Love picture sleeve here. I got this at a record show in Texas. I had just graduated high school and I had a little bit of graduation money, so I decided to give myself a nice one of the rarest commercial U.S. picture sleeves. So there you have it. That is my top 10 LPs and 45s, most expensive in my collection. So I hope you enjoyed this updated list and more videos that come out pretty soon. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.